Eliane from Patchwork and Poodles, and today we are going to make a really simple drawstring bag together. This bag is really fun because it only takes 2 supplies and it's nice and big. It finishes about 17.5 wide by 21 inches long. We're going to be utilizing the entire fabric, including the selvage, to make this really nice drawstring bag. Supplies that you're going to need is half a yard of fabric. I like to use a fabric that's a little bit darker in color. If you're using this as a gift bag and you try to use a lighter fabric such as maybe a white or light gray, you might actually be able to see through it, and so you definitely don't want somebody peeking through the fabric at their gift. So half a yard of fabric, preferably something darker, and 48 inches of ribbon. Your ribbon can be between 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch wide. And I like to use satin ribbon. It slides a little bit better within the drawstring casing. The first thing that we're going to do is optional. The first step is optional. It's to zigzag the 2 long edges. So I just have a half a yard of fabric here. We're going to use it as is. If you go to a store and you ask for half a yard of fabric, you got it, you're good. So first step, optional, is to zigzag the 2 long edges. That's just going to keep your bag from fraying too much. It's not necessary. Your bags probably aren't going to get washed that often, but it's a nice step to do. Okay, so here's my fabric. It's been zigzagged. I'm going to line up the 2 selvage edges together. Now I'm going to take a ruler and a pin, and on one side I'm going to place my pin 2 inches from the top edge, which is our selvage edge. Alright, so 2 inches from the top and just on one side. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring this over to our sewing machine and we're going to sew with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. This side here we're going to sew all the way from the top to the bottom, and we're going to back stitch at the beginning and at the end. On this side we are going to start from our pin, back stitching here and sewing all the way to the end. So we are leaving 2 inches open on one side of our bag. Okay, so I've stitched on both sides. One side I've stitched all the way from the top to the end, so our bottom is our folded edge. On the other side I've stopped 2 inches from the top, which is where we had our pin. Our last step is we are going to need to create the casing so that we're able to put our ribbon inside. For that, we are going to fold down the top edge by 1 inch. So if you have your ruler handy, you're able to just measure that. It's right there. And we're going to go all the way around, measuring 1 inch and pressing it down. So we are going to take this over to our machine and we are going to stitch right near the edge, about 1/8 inch away from our edge. We are going to stitch all the way around. So I'm going to open this up and I'm going to want to stitch all the way around to make our ribbon casing so we can put our ribbon inside. Okay, so we have sewn the casing for our ribbon all the way around. And you'll notice that here where I left it open, so we had left it open 2 inches, we fold down 1 inch so that this will stay open on both sides. What I did is I took this seam allowance, I separated it, and I just kind of tucked it in when I went and sewed so that it would stay nice and folded in for us. Our last step is to take our ribbon. If you have a safety pin, it helps to guide that ribbon through. And we're going to take it into one side of the ribbon casing. Turn our bag right side out. And there you have it, a new gift bag, just like that, ready for use.